Hello and welcome everyone to Arts and Farts episode 12. If you haven't heard about it, this is the show where I'm going to provide a reference image and I'm going to draw from that reference image. And if you like, it's going to be listed in the description so you can bring it up and draw along with me if you want. Today I'm going to be drawing with the Pilot Parallel pen. Again, this is the biggest one, the 6mm one. I'm going to do like a really big ink drawing. Well, that's a plan anyway, so we'll see how it goes. So again, sticking with Inktober for this month. I know this episode's coming out a little bit late. Apologies, I know everything's been a little bit late lately, yeah, I'm gonna try to get on top of stuff pretty soon and get the ball rolling on some more stuff pretty soon here in the future. So I'm gonna be drawing Darth Vader today, and if you pull up the reference image, even if you're not going to draw it with me, you can kind of see what I'm working on as I draw. I've always loved Darth Vader. I mean, I know for, I was saying for the month of October, for Inktober and stuff, I was going to do movie monsters or whatever, but Darth Vader is pretty close to a movie monster. I mean, he's like a kind of scary figure, right? I'd say it counts. Anyway, I'm going to do it regardless. So yeah, drawing Darth Vader, and I figured it would be fun to use the parallel pen to draw Darth Vader here, because it got lots of big dark shapes I can kind of play around with if I'm doing kind of a quicker sketch, you know what I mean? So just getting the shape of the helmet down, and I don't know, maybe I'll play with some texturing or something like that later, but for now I'm just trying to keep it quick, kind of like a warm-up style. Not really going to spend a ton of time in any particular area, but rather just try to keep my pen moving and get the major lines and shapes laid out on the paper. Now, if you do have one of these parallel pens, I've talked about them a little bit before. They can be kind of hard to get the hang of, and especially when you're drawing big like this with a lot of ink on the page, it can be really easy to kind of smear the ink as you're drawing. So if you are using one of these, that's something that I always kind of have to keep in mind when I'm drawing with this pen, to kind of prevent myself from just smearing ink all over the place all the time, because trust me, I've done that quite a bit. But yeah, I really love drawing with these pens. I don't pull them out often enough. I've been using them a lot more lately, and been doing some pretty cool stuff, but I've also been experimenting with gouache and a few other things, and I think that after Inktober is over, I'll probably do a few more episodes where I'm doing a little bit more painting and stuff, because I'd like to experiment more with painting, or at least if they're not arts and farts, I'll at least do some videos time lapses of paintings and stuff like that. I've kind of been taking a little bit of a break from drawing lately. The last few days I've been working quite a bit, just trying to make ends meet before the end of the month. You know how it is. It's the struggle or whatever. But so I haven't been drawing that much, but it's actually been kind of nice, because prior to this week, I've been drawing every day for quite some time now, and not really giving myself a break. And if I'm going to be totally honest, it's gotten really, really frustrating. I feel I don't have any ideas. I'm stressed out about how much I'm selling and how much money I'm making, and I really don't like that feeling. I don't like stressing about money, and I don't like having my art kind of revolve around money. So taking a few days and kind of just giving myself some space and thinking about it and stuff like that. It's been a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better. But I kind of got to this place where I feel I'm always drawing to try to make money. It's kind of doing freelance art. It's art is basically my job, and it's been stressing me out, and I think my art has been suffering because I've been just trying to draw for money to make ends meet and all that stuff, and kind of just forgetting what art is all about and what it means to me. And I've always said art shouldn't be about the money and this and that, and I kind of need to take my own advice here. And my girlfriend actually kind of opened my eyes to that, bless her heart, and she was telling me you just need to chill. So that was some good advice. I'm sure she can hear me, so thank you. There you go. Yeah, she's great. But anyway, so I've been trying to think more about what I want to draw for fun and that kind of thing. And I had a lot of fun experimenting with gouache. If you saw that last piece of the girl with the leaves around her, that was my first kind of that was my first time using gouache ever, my first time experimenting with it, and I really, really liked it. As you probably know, like, I use watercolor quite a bit, but I've always wanted to try gouache because it's very similar to watercolor. It's kind of like, kind of somewhere between the consistency of acrylic and tube watercolor with like really high saturation, like, and very, very opaque paints. But you can use them like an acrylic paint, or you can use them like watercolor or somewhere in between and like do some blending. So they're really versatile. And like my girlfriend's been using them, and she does these really awesome, like, kind of almost cell shaded paintings with like solid colors. And like, I'm turning around and doing like more watercolor style, like watered down. So like just between the two of us, like, you can see the kind of like diversity in the style of painting that you can achieve with gouache. So I've been enjoying that a lot, and I definitely like to do some future either, like I said, Arts and Farts videos or YouTube videos featuring gouache some more. So that could be a pretty fun thing to do. And I know, like I said, I know things have been slow lately. I just moved, and there's always a little bit of like financial stress that comes along with moving. So I've kind of been caught up in that. And but things are working out. Things are settling down towards the end of the month. Next month is going to be a little bit more manageable. So feeling a little bit better, and I think I'm in a better place with my art as well. So if I could impart any sort of like message or moral to my sad story, be like, art is stressful sometimes, even for people that do it every single day or as a profession. It's going to be tough. You're going to struggle sometimes. That's just kind of like the nature of the beast. So as much as I have gotten discouraged, like what I've learned is like, don't get discouraged, and it's actually harmful to like stress yourself out about it. So the best thing you can do, I think, when you are either feeling like stress related to art, or whether it be art block or anything like that, just take a step back. It's not going to kill you to take a break. Like, it's okay to take a break. You're not going to be less of an artist if you stop drawing for a few days or even a few weeks if you want to. Like, it's okay, because it's as much as anything else, it can be exhausting, physically and mentally. And if you're having a lot of stress associated with it, it may not be a terrible idea to kind of like step back and take a break and kind of like let yourself like clear your head, kind of like reset a little bit with art, because that's kind of how I've felt, and like I finally cracked open the sketchbook like this morning, and I did a sketch I really liked, and now I'm working on this Arts and Farts, and I'm actually really enjoying this right now. So I can say that it works. Don't stress about giving yourself a little bit of time off. That's why people have vacation days with regular jobs and stuff like that. So you shouldn't feel bad if you need to take a little vacation, even if you are like a freelance artist, but especially if you're not. Like, there's really no pressure. So take it easy, give yourself a break, and it'll be more enjoyable for you. At least that's been my experience. So maybe you'll have the same experience as well. But anyway, drawing Darth Vader here has been really fun. I'm slowing down a little bit, but I'm really enjoying like the details in the helmet and stuff. So try not to blame me too much. But I love this, dude. Darth Vader has been very iconic to me in my childhood. Like, he's the bad guy, but he looks really cool. Like, the design is awesome, and I don't know. I've always just kind of admired him as a character, regardless of whether or not he is technically a bad guy. I mean, you can argue whatever you want, but he no spoilers. No, I'm not gonna spoil Star Wars. I mean, if you haven't seen Star Wars, like, shame on you, but I'm still not gonna spoil it in case you haven't, because you never know. There could be someone out there who hasn't seen Star Wars. So if you have a friend or relative that hasn't seen Star Wars, ask them what's wrong with them, and then force them to watch it, because you need to know. You need to know whether or not the people you care about like Star Wars. It's important. It's an important thing. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I like this dude. He's just really fun to draw. It's like the mask is like kind of skull shaped, but like really like angular at the same time. Like, it's just a really, really cool design and fun dude to draw. Plus, he's like super. He just Say whatever you want. Like Darth Vader is a badass. You can say whatever you want, but that remains true for me anyway. But yeah, Sith Lord, Darth Vader, super fun to draw. And if you haven't used one of these parallel pens before, I kind of always talk about these whenever I use them because I almost always get questions about them. People, they see this pen that can create these like awesome lines like this, and they're like, oh my god, like what pen is that? Like I gotta have it, because that's how I was when I first saw this pen. I was like, whoa, that's like so different. Like I really want to know like how to use that thing and like experiment with it and see kind of like what you can create, because as you can see, like even drawing like large scale like this, it's really got something special about how it like lays down ink really quickly. But like I said, they're a little tricky to get used to. The way they work is they have two metal plates that are parallel. That's why it's called the parallel pen, right next to each other, and the ink flows between those plates. So you get ink on the paper by touching the gap between the plates onto the paper. So depending on like kind of the way you place it on the paper and then the way you move the pen after you place it, you can get a variety of different like line weights. And it's really cool, like I said, for doing like lots of really big, fast shading, getting lots of like really dark shapes in there. It's a lot of fun. And you can also kind of achieve this effect with a brush or with one of those like chisel tip markers. Have you seen those like big Sharpies that come with like the aluminum barrels? Those kind of like Sharpies you can also get this kind of effect with. The parallel pens, they come in, this is the largest size, like I said. They come in several smaller sizes, but the thing that makes them unique to like other chisel tip pens is many chisel tip pens have like that felt or like some sort of porous tip for the actual like what transmits the ink to the paper. It's usually something soft, like I said, like a porous tip or like a felt, and those can wear down over time. Like as you use them, especially the edges can get like worn down and rough and like affect the quality of the line. But with these pens you don't get that, but there is a little bit, there's pros and cons that go along with them. You do have to fill them with ink or buy the cartridges. I always recommend filling with your own ink, because as I've mentioned, the ink that comes with these pens isn't too terribly great. It's fine for practicing, but it takes a long time to dry, and it is not water resistant at all. And actually when you get it wet, it has like almost like a blue tint to it, so it's almost like a really dark blue ink rather than like a true black ink. And I'm all about the black ink, so I put Sailor ink inside of mine. I do have one converter which you can buy. I can't remember, there's like the converter has a number and I can't remember the number of it. It works with some other Pilot pens as well as the parallel pens. You can find it if you just search like a Pilot converter for a parallel pen or something like that, because I bought mine a while ago. But if you don't want to do that, you can buy like those blunt syringes, like industrial syringes, and empty out the old ink cartridges and just use the syringe to fill it with new ink. It's super easy, and that's what I do for most of them since I have more than one pen. So that's totally an option if you want to do something like that. So as I'm getting close to my time limit here, I'm gonna add like a few shapes to like the shadows back here on his helmet, just because I want to add like some definition. But for the most part, it's getting pretty near done for what I wanted to do, which was just like a super rough kind of sketch. There were a few episodes of Arts and Farts that I spent quite a bit longer like time on. I went long, I drew for long, I don't know how to say it, but I do want to stick more to the like 10 to 20 minute mark, just for the most part, just for the sake of having, like a video that's more digestible, as well as like, I've always thought of Arts and Farts as more of like a warm-up session than like a full drawing session. So the idea of like keeping it kind of quick and rough and simple is important to me when making this show. Though, as I have said, there will always be the occasional longer episode. For the most part, I'd like to keep them in the shorter range. So this is about where I'm gonna be landing on most of these from here on out. But yeah, we got Darth Vader. He's looking pretty good. With these rough shapes. It's really kind of fun to find the form of what you're drawing through these like really rough shapes, and kind of just there's something simple and enjoyable about just laying down a lot of ink really fast and with interesting textures. These pens are, like I said, very, very versatile. And I feel like the more you play with it, the more you kind of practice with it, the more you kind of begin to understand its potential, where it may not be readily apparent at first. When I first got these pens, I drew with them for a while, but I ended up getting frustrated because I wasn't able to achieve what I wanted with the pens, which I'm not sure exactly what that was, to be honest with you. But they frustrated me. They were difficult to use, they were strange, and it kept coming out wrong, and so I kind of put them away for a while, and every once in a while I pull them back out and use them, and every time I do that, after like kind of not using it for a while, I'm always like, wow, like I forgot how much I love these pens. So that's kind of where I've been with these few episodes that I have used the parallel pen for, like the Xenomorph episode where I drew the Xenomorph. I had a lot of fun with that. Even though I had some difficulties with it, I still, for the most part, really enjoyed doing that drawing because of the awesome dark shapes that you can find in the Xenomorph, and like kind of bringing those out with a pen was a really kind of fun adventure to go on. And it's the same thing with Lord Vader here. He's got some really interesting shapes, and kind of exploring them with the roughness of this pen has been very enjoyable. I'm thinking I might like add like some like cool red background, something to do with the Empire. I don't know, maybe. But if you are interested, any of these Inktober pieces, like the Darth Vader one or the Xenomorph one, or any of them, other than the ones that are in my sketchbook, but like the free page ones like this, if you are interested in having any of these, all they do is sit around my house. So I'm not even gonna like give you a price. Just make me an offer and it can be yours. You can email me, or you can send me a comment here, or on social media. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, you can hit me up there. That would be super cool. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm pretty much finishing up here, just adding like a few little lines here and there that I wanted to add. If you wanted to spend a lot more time on something like this, you could even go more in depth with, some of the shapes and the shading and stuff like that. It could be a lot of fun, but I just don't want to kill too much time here. We're getting just on 20 minutes. So yeah, thanks for your patience with these episodes coming out late. I know it's been a pain. It's been a source of stress for me. And there's going to be some more stuff coming out soon. I say that every time, but it always something I've got to say. So yeah, again, thank you for watching. This has been Arts and Farts episode 12, drawing Darth Vader with the Pilot parallel pen 6mm. You guys are the best. As always, I'm going to say it every time. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.